Hello, I'm Rangru.
And I'm Graham.
Here today with another 1v1 from the Wargame Bootcamp Discord Brain Rot Tournament. We are on Apunjing Valley, and who is duking out today, Graham?
So, Rang, on the left here on the blue, we have Jaki playing as NORAD Mechanized. Yeah, it's Mechanized, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then on the right, we have NBK playing as Denmark. Oh, no, that's reverse. I'm so dumb. Left side is Denmark, and then right side is NORAD Mechanized.
Getting confused because it's the blue on blue, and a lot
Yeah,
of gunships.
Yeah, that is definitely a little bit of confusion there. But it is blue on blue. You got some Leopards, you got some gunships, some TH-495, some Bradleys, so it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, this would be interesting matchup, like you said. I mean, the NORAD side is very much IFV heavy. It was Bradley's going to be duking out like it's Pentagon Wars. Well, against a much more... Honestly, Jackie's deck is... It's not that bad. It doesn't have any high AT stuff, but you got a decent amount of stuff in every other category.
Yeah, I think Jackie's deck, it is more normal, right? It's probably the best way to put it. It's the more normal of probably all the decks we've seen so far in the game, and it doesn't have a lot of high-end AT. The Air Force is a little, it's a little wonky. Some of the infantry combos are a little wonky, but it pretty much has everything you need, whereas NBK's is kind of crazy.
Yeah. That to be quite cool, because you all have the long-range advantage of all the ATGMs and all those Bradleys. And on a map like this, especially up north in Bravo, where it is just a long open distance, that can really work quite well.
Yeah, and that's why you probably see Jaki just kind of play defensive in Foxtrot, because it's going to be kind of hard to push that open area, too much. I mean, we see the Scout Defender jumping in right here, try to get a little bit of damage in, but there's a Stinger team already in position, and we see these CH-495s opening up with their 25 mils. And the helicopter actually I'm surprised it lived that long.
Yeah, got absolutely blapped here. But looking at the force dispositions, NBK seems to be going pretty heavy up north as he's sending a whole lot of troops in. The rest of his line is very thin, while Jaki has spread out actually quite a bit, getting a little bit more of, I'd say, of a central defensive position.
Yeah, the idea, I think if you're Jaki, probably pushing Delta, right? You have better infantry than the NORAD deck. I'm assuming they've seen each other's decks based on the way this tournament's constructed. Oh, that Nighthawk going in deep right there. All the Hawks missing. Oh, that one finally does get the hit, and it's down immediately, and it missed the snipe on the CV.
Damn. That's actually quite an impressive miss, because I think he was going for the building.
Yeah, it looks like he just barely overshot right there.
Yeah.
It went, Yugoslavia, not Iraq War. But yeah, we see Jaki, he's bringing up a lot of, constant reinforcement train. He's going to need to resupply these Hawks because I think, both of them are completely out of ammo right there. He's got a little bit of base defense, more infantry, and some more Leopards coming out. So it looks like to me, Ray, he's getting ready for a push up north in Foxtrot.
Yeah, he's definitely going to try and clear out how. And this is usually how Punjing Valley works. It's an odd map, as it has a low amount of command zones to capture. So if you can fully capture at least one of the far flank positions, the only way you have to do is neutralize the other. Here's your +1 tick.
Yeah, I like the idea of pushing the 2-point sectors, though, because if you can get, especially from, Jackie's position, I'm not sure necessarily what the pros would say is the better move, but if you can get inside that forest there in Delta, you can cause a lot of problems. You partially can engage that reinforcement road past Echo right there, and then you decap the 2-point sector on a map with mainly 1-point sectors.
100%, especially on Jaki, because I would say he did get the better side, because pushing into Delta is much easier than pushing into Alpha, especially with the deck compositions.
Yeah, I agree, and he's got some mortars already out in the field up there in the north right there. We see more FKPs brought up. These Leopards are engaging. I'm trying to see what they're... There's some Canadian rifles inside that little town complex there. Oh, yeah, there goes the TH-495, just sniped right there as he tried to run away.
Yeah, we're seeing NBK's just pulling back a little bit. He doesn't have enough infantry to clear the last factory complex with all the FKPs, but here we go, the M3 Bradley with the recon stealth. That's actually a really Gucci position to just zone out between Alpha and Foxtrot.
Yeah, it's pick that unit off individually, right? Because he doesn't have any heavy AT. He has no ATGMs. So it's just going to be a hard unit for him to deal with. He's going to probably just have to put his own recon unit, smoke it off, and then go about his business further north.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just charge it, I guess.
Yeah. Just yeet it through.
Yeah, we do see the TOW actually, the other Bradley, the IFV version, engaging the Jupiter trucks on the road, using up some of its ATGMs right there. It's a little funny to see a couple wasted shots right there by him.
And the rifles will be able to finish them off.
Oh, here comes F100 coming in right now to try to get sniped on the Mexes. It actually does get the snipe on the Mexes. Nice little pick there with the F100D.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad pick at all. That's going to be the nice thing with his low anti-tank deck, is that there's not a whole lot of heavy, like, armored vehicles. It's...
Right.
I think the worst is, yeah, some Leopard C2s, so...
Yeah, the Mexes,
really not that bad. Those Centaurians and Leopard 1A3s at close range can perform quite well.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty good tank, especially for the points. They're going to be vulnerable to these type of attacks here. We see another one, F100 coming in. He's trying to get a strike there on the Bradley. He does, but I think he had to fire position that. So the Bradley is damaged, but it's going to still live. But nice little... I like these opening moves here by Jaki with these F100Ds. You don't see them, running like in competitive 1v1s that we've mainly casted on the channel. But in these kind of like crazy games from this tournament, that's actually a really valuable unit.
Yeah, and I believe it does have a rather fast reload, because it is just a rocket.
Right.
Close air support plane. So you can just keep bringing them up and blowing them down. At the same time, well, with NBK's deck, he has a lot of man patch.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit too many man patch, you could say. So he should be able to set up a rather effective anti-aircraft net, just as long as he keeps buying more Bradleys, because you're really just buying the Bradleys, not the man patch.
Yeah, and so we do actually see him bring up some Bradleys right there. I'm saying once, yeah, the F100 coming in again. Yeah, getting a lot of value out of those F100Ds. And I think you're right. I don't know how many does he have in the deck. I don't know what the number is on top of my head per card there, but 4. Yeah, so he's probably going to see those the entirety of the game, and they're not expensive, so he's going to get a lot of value out of them. At least so far, yes.
Yeah, 65 points aircraft is blown up run Mexus. That's already a huge trade as the Mexus is 85 points.
Yep.
And we are seeing NBK here actually trying to push a little bit into Alpha, moving up some Canadian rifles and a few of his armored vehicles. But honestly, I think Jaki's doing a decent job of zoning this out.
Yeah, plus, the Carl Gustav standoff infantry, they're going to be really effective at stopping like those singular infantry pushes. There's no support whatsoever to kind of like suppress them. So they're just going to eat that all day, those Canadians all day. And we do see the armored force for MBK, instead of supporting that infantry there in Alpha, it's actually kind of pushing forward here towards Foxtrot and trying to kind of cut off this push that's, kind of a push, I guess, going on here by Jaki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're seeing him sneak up at FKP squad into the forest into a rather sneaky position. He should be able to spot the CV quite soon. But I just feel like MBK right now definitely doesn't know what to do with his force. He has a decent strike group in the center, but they're kind of splitting up. He's got some going to defend Foxtrot, some more just pushing in between Alpha and Foxtrot. So, yeah, I think he's just going to take some heavy casualties here.
Well, we do see him charging the Bradleys up here, wide in the open, like right out here in the open, coming to these tree lines here. We'll see if they actually stay there. One's really damaged from the F100 strikes, but the armor really isn't in a position here, and these Bradleys can actually keep pushing up further. And Jaki already recognizes the danger, trying to pull back his Hawk. We see some more Leopards coming up. Oh, and here comes the F100 now.
Yeah, I think the close air support will come in clutch.
Oh, direct hit on one, getting the kill. Wow, that thing's actually pretty good.
Yeah, for 65 points, because it does like 2 salvos of rockets, so you can kind of micro it.
FKP's, I thought they were going to push closer towards the tree line there, but they are backing up. Moving down here, they're going to engage these riflemen. Look to see if MBK brings any of his extra... Yeah, he's going to immediately send those M2 Bradleys with riflemen over there to support as well. Some more TH-495s with Canadian riflemen. So, MBK is putting a lot of units into Foxtrot, and he is holding it, definitely. But you can start to see Jaki just getting these small little picks here and there right now.
Oh, and a big pick with the F-15D, dropping 4,000 tons of high explosives to kill 11 dudes.
Yeah, I mean, he really didn't want to lose those 2 rifleman squads, so... I guess, obviously, in terms of you're assuming the F-15D is going to get points the longer the game goes on,
Mm-hmm.
but that is a big heads up to Jaki. Hey, I've got, one of my elite airplanes out, and he's already lost one with the F-117. So he really needs to be kind of careful with his F-15D moving forward, because there's a lot of firepower invested in those aircraft.
Yeah, really for him, maybe getting a few of those Eyehawks up and running so he can start blapping those F-100s, because they're not very hard aircraft to shoot down, but just as for him, the longer the game goes on, with being able to bring in those F-100s to blap stuff, it's just gonna work very well for Jaki.
Yeah, I think so too. And the Stingers, they're not going to be very effective at dealing with them. You know, Stingers are mainly a tool used to deal with other helicopters. Obviously, they have the supplemental role where they can help kill planes. But for the most part, one or two Stinger teams aren't going to stop your opponent's air tab from asserting themselves on, in the match. So he's going to need some heavier form of AA to really stop those F-100s from just getting free reign on, individual units.
Yeah, it does seem like Jaki is trying to exploit the lack of anti-aircraft here as well, bringing out a TOW Defender, which, of course, isn't a great anti-tank helicopter, but, well, it can defend something at least.
Yeah, it can't even defend itself, Rang.
That's true.
We do see the TOW Defender coming up, but the problem is, well, I think maybe you recognize the lack of AA. There is a Stinger C, so first shot does miss. If he pushes that any more forward, yeah, I think he's going to just let it kind of hang back there. It just shows you how bad the base TOW Defender is.
Yeah, has decent accuracy for like a crappy ATGM, but yeah, 15 AP, that's... Yeah, I believe the Bradley just survived that type of shot.
Yeah, it can tank one of them for sure. So Prowler actually called out here by NBK. He dives in, gets one of the Hawks there. His radar was left on. The other one further south, both of those radars are actually on. He could have he could have gone a little further, but decides to just evac it there after getting a nice little pick. And I guess that probably can signal to his range that the F-15 might be coming out again soon.
Indeed. And we're going to see Foxtrot get decapped here from Jaki. Just probably going to force NBK in the, well, CV arms race to bring one down into Bravo to try and neutralize that position as well.
The CV arms race. I like it. Instead of building nukes, we just buy CVs.
We just need to put CVs in every single country to claim it, re-own it.
I feel like America already does that.
Yeah, we have a lot of FOBs.
Right. We just use it. Yeah, our FOB is the CV.
Yep.
But NBK looks like you talked about earlier, Rank. He is going to continue with this push towards Alpha instead of just a couple Canadian rifles that he's just going to sacrifice. He's actually got some, support here, some Mexes, some Bradley IFEs as well. So I would imagine he wants to get into the town complex, and that would allow him to decap or, attempt to contest and possibly decap Alpha, which I like that move personally from either direction. Prefer it from Jaki's side. But if you can neutralize the 2-pointer, when these these smaller maps like this, it can be a massive advantage for you.
Yeah, and even if you don't hold on to Alpha for the entirety of the match, just like 10 minutes or so of +2 income can be huge. Oh, the F-100 train.
Yeah, it's Vietnam right now. Excuse me, right now. F-100Ds are going out. We're going to see if they can get any picks here. We see going Rifleman. Yeah, they're immediately dead. Strike on that Bradley. Another one gone. And a Stinger does get a hit, but like we kind of talked about, 2 hits actually. Oh, maybe one will go down. One does go down. Oh, both go down, making the caster look dumb once again right there with the Stingers. But they actually got a lot of value before, if it's been the same 3 being used continuously, they did get a lot of value over the course of the game.
Yeah, they were definitely still worthwhile picks. Oh, Prowler. Damn. That's C.
Yeah, Prowler's a nice pick, and we'll see in the Hawk misses once again.
Damn. Yeah, the Alpha push has been thwarted for now, but picking up those F-100s in the long term is definitely going to give NBK a little bit of a luxury, because now his Bradleys don't have as much scary stuff to contest Driv.
Yeah, and he's going to get into that town complex there at the edge. So while it's not going to necessarily maybe take the entire road line, it's going to allow him to contest this point for at least the near future. He's bringing these TH-495s over. He's going to need them because there's more Carl Gustav infantry coming in. But this is so far a successful push, I think, for NBK. The next F-100D is coming in. I'm surprised he's continuing with this after the death of the other 2. Yeah, and we see right there, both Stingers getting back-to-back hits, and quickly they've, fallen from the sky.
Yeah, not ideal at all. What is going to suck here for NBK and Alpha is he only has Jeep CVs. He has no tanks or infantry runs, so it's going to be pretty easy for Jaki here to, do some CV sniping.
Right. Yeah, it is something, when you think about like deck building, not having a tank CV could sometimes be a pretty big detriment, or especially when it comes to the CD snipe game.
Yeah.
But the Jeep's just gonna have to make it work.
Yeah, because usually you take, like, for me, like, one Jeep CV card, and then one, like, either tank or infantry card for anti-CV sniping.
Though I've seen, sometimes Razman say you shouldn't bring Jeep CVs
Hmm.
because, they are too vulnerable. But sometimes I feel like for as less skilled players rank, having the 7 is sometimes more important than having a better defended 4.
Yes, yeah, so I need, like, I need a handicap.
Yeah, I need my 7 CVs.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, kind of from this vantage point, Rang, Jackie does have a nice little position here in Foxtrot. He could decap that, which I mean he did earlier. I think it died during the when the Deagle came in, right?
It did.
Yeah, for the bombing run there. And he is starting to push back here on the town complex that NBK just took. The Leopards are pushing forward. But there are some Bradleys kind of moving into position, and there's the Recon one able to intercept them.
Yeah. It's in a pretty good position, seeing the Lapidrone freeze, and they'll be backing off into smoke. And this is still... Oh, Eagle?
Yeah, but the Hawks are too far back, and one of the radars is turned off as well. Oh, wow, it was actually too accurate, and one of the dudes lived.
Damn. But no, yeah, it's at a great position here for NPK. It's just about him getting a CV out, which he still has not gotten. Yeah, till I say it's 23 minutes. So it's not a huge point disparity. It's actually a good idea for him to try and solidify his point a little bit more.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do it right now. He probably could, but there is a counterattack coming here from Jaki. You have 6 Leopard 1A3, some infantry as well. I think he also called out some more. Yeah, he does. So 3 more infantry cards on their way to the front here. We'll see if these mortars can provide proper smoke cover for him. Oh, the Prowler, once again, coming in, just getting so much value out of that one Prowler right there. Hawk firing in return, but it's going to miss as well. And that's the 4th, I think, Hawk down from the Prowler.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. There's not going to be many Eyehawks left by the end of this match at this rate.
No, not at all. The Danish air defense has been thoroughly demolished.
Mm-hmm. We need some ASAMs.
It looks like they do.
Yeah, they do.
It looks like they actually do need them. But we see the Leopards are pushing up here. They were able to kill the infantry. NBK kind of just throwing it forward, probably hoping he can maybe get into the town complex here. But this is the problem with the Leopards. They're going to run the open here, and while the toe won't be able to kill... Oh, there's he actually got a nice little range angle there and just annihilate that Bradley.
Yeah, he is managing to get into range, and with just the sheer numbers, that should be enough to deter all the ATGMs coming towards him. But Leopard C2s are really just on a class of their own. They do have, I believe, the ability to almost one-shot Leopard on A3s. I think it's technically 2 shots. But even still, that's... they're pretty much the heavy tank of this battle.
Yeah, I think it's 2-shot from the front with the Mexes against the 1A3 DK.
I believe so too. And you see it's going to be enough to Wargame back. And they also do have the range advantage as well, which helps out immensely.
Yeah, and they have a decent amount of armor at 14 from the front there. So they're pretty much the heavy tank of this game. We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier in the cast. And they're more than enough. If anything, they are more effective than when the Bradleys were in dissuading Jackie from continuing with that push. Oh, we see the Deagle going in here. It looks like it's going for a CD snipe. It's going to fly right over the Hawk. The Hawk unable to get a target angle or an angle on it. Never fires, and the CV just gets annihilated right there.
Indeed. Very good snipe. Going to allow NBK get a nice and slow and steady +1. Still not seeing anything on the Alpha yet, so this is really just going to be forcing Jackie to reach another 100 points on a Bravo CV.
Yeah, he's got a CV, but the CV is going to Bravo for NBK, and it looks like he's shifting down that direction. I think he's probably decided that pushing Alpha at this time just isn't worthwhile, but he can be annoying. He can contest it and force Jackie into feeding more units there. While in reality, I mean, just look at what these guys got the CV going. Bradley with the Stinger team, more there's more Canadian rifles, a Mexis. Yeah, actually 4 squads of Canadian rifles going in. So to hold the Bravo area. And based off what's down the ring, he could almost take it.
Yeah, it's really not a whole lot. Yeah, just 2 Walker Bulldogs and the FKP. So he definitely has a firepower advantage. I think the question is, will Jackie be able to bring in reinforcements in time and realize, his push is going to happen? Because there's quite a lot of a geographical difference distance from one side of Bravo to the other side of Bravo.
Yeah, I really don't think Jackie's expecting this push or has recognized the danger that's going on here. We do see that Leopard 183s, they're being sent forward with the smoke covering, but I mean, even the 183 is going to be vulnerable to the law, so I wouldn't want to necessarily mess around with the town too much, but the FKPs should be able to get in there. They'll clean up the Canadian rifles pretty quick. Let's see, the Leopard 183s are now moving, but the Bradley's going to recognize or seize this push here and is going to start engaging, and the 495 seeing them on the road as well with autocannon fire.
Yeah. Yeah, so the problem here of Jackie's deck is that he just cannot engage effectively in these long-range open engagements. His deck is really screwing him over in this case.
Yeah, that's why I feel like the push to Delta needed to happen, like, probably off the beginning of the game. Like, that would have been the time to make that move. Now, as he's allowed, NBK is really kind of flexing himself on the map right here, and so much of his AA network has been demolished by the Prowlers, so the F-15D can kind of just come in and get a snipe pretty much whenever it wants to. It's not remotely scared of the Starfighters in the back.
Oh yeah, and you can just see with how NBK has set up his defensive line. It's all, along the geography of that forest, and in front of him it's this open field, which is perfect for his playstyle.
Yeah, it looks like a legitimate defensive line. Like if you pulled it up, on a map, it looks like it's running parallel with the road. It uses the forest and in the town lines right there to provide cover, and it's just in front of him, like you said, is nothing but open space.
Quite beautiful.
Yeah, picture perfect. Mex's going back up there towards Alpha. Yeah, Jackie's sitting for the mortar here, probably just trying to waste some ammo because cheaper just to buy new ones than it is to actually resupply them. Yeah, and NBK doesn't even seem like he wants to be that aggressive. I thought he was going to actually push Bravo Rang, but no, he's just cool chilling in his defensive positions.
Yeah, it's honestly quite surprising because he definitely has the momentum, as Jaki has been much more on the reactive side of things rather than a proactive side of play. So you'd think NBK would want to exploit that a bit more. He's kind of pushing a little bit into Bravo, but it's a slow little foot zerg more than anything.
Yeah, he sent out those 2 squads Canadian rifles. I guess they drew the short end of the stick and were told to just go probe by fire, was it probing by fire? And you just see those M41s.
I think the Prowler got another Eyehawk kill, so we're up to 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Feasting. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet of hawks.
Because all he gets is one at a time, and then that one gets blapped, because you need like 2 or 3 of those hawks to have a chance, and of course actually turning off the radar helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have the radars off, and then you have to be paying attention. Having an ASF would help a lot as well, but obviously with the deck, it's really not available to him right now. So the Starfire is not really going to cut it there. And this is probably going to be a game-winning push, I think, right by NBK down here.
Yeah, he's got all the infantry enough to be able to actually fortify that complex. Leopard 23's dashing down to reinforce, but they're just caught out in the open. Yeah, those tow missiles making short work.
Yeah, and you see one of them go down right there. There's little fiery explosion as the poor Danish crew perishes. The other 3 trying to push forward here. But, I mean, there's more TH-495s going to hit the road. The Mexus is getting into position. The Bradley's backing up, but there's another one further south there. Plus, there's still more of the IFE. Yeah, that's actually more Bradleys, too. Yeah. He's got a nice little actual IFV force here.
Yeah, and he's splitting them up a little bit as well. Yeah, it's really done a whole lot, including reinforcements, which can stop his push. So he's bringing in some emergency infantry to try to get in there. I believe it was FKPs. Yes, they are. So they're going to have to get quite a lot of infantry kills.
Yeah, he's going to need them big time. They're really going to have to carry here. The FKP's in a really strong infantry unit, but even the 495 right there already putting down some 25mm fire to help these Canadian rifles, which they will trade poorly against the FKPs. But there's so much firepower here. Even the Nexus is pushed all the way up in the open here. Near the smoke, trying to get a kill in these 183s. So that's really the only thing slowing down this push right now.
I think got another CV sniper attempt on Foxtrot. Misses.
Yeah, there's no AA though up here anymore.
Yeah, the Prowler's a little bit disappointed.
He's killed everything. I don't know, is there a Hawk left on the map?
No,
No,
he still
no.
has more because he has two two cards of him. But no, there's nothing currently on the battlefield.
The Danish Hawk crews are on strike.
I don't blame him.
Poor working conditions.
Hmm. Oh, Alpha got decapped here. Juicy +2 for NBK. So he is doing very well for himself.
Yeah, no, NBK slipped that in without us noticing. Definitely, Jackie wasn't prepared for it right there because he's done so much. Oh yeah, he's actually big time. The Rock Eyes are coming. The little CV needs to move. Oh, poor Jeep.
He's just sent everything there. It's like, how not to be seen? That's not what you do. Oh,
the Starfire's getting kills on the gunships.
Yeah.
It's something.
It is. It's like when you call in like your cheap, crappy, fighter plane which you just unlocked in War Thunder. Derby. It's like, I just really want to blow up at one helicopter bugger who just killed me from spawn.
Yes, it's like I'm gonna go kill that super 2010 level helicopter with my 1960s fighter plane.
Yeah, you put on the kamikaze headband and you just go right in.
I know, I've done it.
I've done that a lot.
We see Jaki is getting a little aggressive up in Foxtrot ring, but it kind of has the feeling to me that that push needed to happen a few minutes ago, because the decapping of Bravo and the Foxtrot being decapped, while nobody's gaining in points, NBK has the lead, and he has it's a small lead, but it feels like the way he's traded, it's enough of a lead to get the W.
Yeah, especially on a slower map like this where even 20 points or so can make a big deal because it's hard to get decaps.
The poor Leopard, he thought he was going to live right there, then took that bomb right to the face. FKPs have been stunned. M41's pushing up, trying to suppress, but these Bradleys are now going to be engaged. There's no ATGM infantry whatsoever. So there's nothing to zone out these IFVs here. The only thing are the tanks, and they're just not capable of doing it. Oh, the Centurion spam!
Oh, that's cool. And I love these Centurions because they have the SS-11 missiles.
Yeah, the SS-11 is
the
so
OG
fun.
ATGM.
It's I mean, it's honestly not that bad, right? I mean, it has 17 AP.
Yeah, it does more damage than the Ito. It's just the accuracy's bad, but heck, for 30 points, even if you get one hit on like a medium tank, that's still not bad.
What's the range on it? 2450?
Yeah.
In the range? I don't know what the tow range on top of my head is.
I think it's the same.
2625. Okay.
Oh, no, never mind.
But 17 AP, Rang.
I know.
Actually, yeah, the SS-11 is it's a cool missile. It's interesting. It's not good
in the Algerian rule.
Yeah.
Like, they put it in like French transport planes and just yeeted them into caves.
I like the AMX-13s that have them fitted on.
Yes. Got like his small tank and his massive missiles.
Right, the missile's like as big as the turret of the tank.
Yes.
You see more IHawks pushing. Well, one more IHawk pushing up. I guess they were able to get the scabs in to go ahead and man the IHawk crew. And their radar is turned off. So actually, maybe they're better trained than their now dead counterparts. But
they finally learned their lesson.
Yeah, eventually word got down the line that you need to have the radar off. Though the Prowler is on the hunt right here, and so is the Deagle. We'll see how quick Jaki is here, able to stop this Hawk, see if we can get a shot in. Really, you want multiple of them, like you talked about earlier, Ray, not just one of these. Ooh, if he stopped now, he could maybe... No, he's going to keep driving. Oh, and the CV got blapped.
IHawk's going to get a missile off at least, but a little bit too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly quite surprised with Jaki, where he didn't maybe try doing that Foxtrot push, because you can push around the northern side of Foxtrot, more forestry, better for his deck, and then you just sneak, you screw that whole open ground, you just go straight for the town from the flank.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that definitely could be a successful push right there. He could have, maybe had more medium-level engagements where he could use the superior amount of leopards he has versus the higher quality that NBK does, but he just never really tried that push. To be honest, he never really pushed anywhere except that initial portion of Foxtrot the first couple minutes of the game. NBK's kind of had the initiative for most of this match.
Yeah, Jaki has been playing very reactive this entire time and screws him over, and it's a GG and a pretty respectable, just 900, 1000 KD difference.
And it kind of felt like that, Ray, the KD difference between the two. It really did, outside maybe the first couple of minutes, that NBK was kind of asserting his dominance in the game. He was getting the better trades. And while I really think the only portion of the match I thought like, oh, Jaki's really got something going here with those F100s, and they all died to the Stingers.
Yep. They all got bigger blapped.
They got Vietnamed.
The MVA, got those Strela missiles finally on back order.
Yeah. I mean, Strela, Igla, Stinger, same difference, right?
It's point and click.
It is point and click. Except the Mistral, though, right? You got to keep that one locked in.
Yeah, that's weird French technology.
Absolutely. But no, I thought it was an interesting game. I thought Denmark would do better, but there was just enough, it seemed like, firepower from NBK that it was able to just kind of really zone the Danes out.
Yeah, it played the ground game extremely well. It's taking advantage of, having a fistful of toes on his side.
Yeah, sure, it's a really good point. He definitely played his deck, as insane as it is, really well, and then used the geography of the map to support it, which you really actually don't see all the time. Even amongst some of the best players in the world, you don't actually sometimes see them use it to the extent that he did. Like, legitimately, you could take a photo and I said, hey, that kind of looks like a defensive line you could find like in real life, and it actually kind of does.
Now, it's a very good point, because usually you're setting up your defenses in regards to the command zones.
Yes.
Right, which are like abstract zones, technically speaking. So you're kind of working around them, but just due to the limitations of the deck, and this makes the brain rot tournament, as weird as it is, and can be quite brain rotting, very cool, because it forces people to play in such absurd ways.
Right, absolutely. And that's where, when you see something like in a strategy game they don't really mimic real life, right? But you can kind of use tactics in real life for your video game. And it was interesting to see, like, hey, he's running parallel to the road. He's using the tree line to kind of dig in and entrench his troops and use it as a basis of advancing forward, and then take into account that his opponent's going to have to advance over X amount of open ground and force him into like a killing zone. He basically set that up for the latter half of the entire match.
Yeah, bloody good stuff. And I believe that will finish things off for this video, unless you have anything else to say, Graham?
Where's South Africa in the brain rot tournament?
Too good.
I want to know.
South Africa. It's like South Africa mechanized, but all the slowish units.
Yes.
Slow Africa.
Slow Africa?
Yeah.
That's
a deck.
That's evil. You should be banned from the game for even like making.
Well, hopefully we'll see Slow Africa next time.
I'm putting you on notice, brain rot.
And as usual, guys, take it easy.